perfume. I don't need a minister to call me a groom, but I'm rattled by the rush, rattled by the rush, rattled by the rush, rattled by the rush.
Hey everybody, so I survived Record Store Day. So, as you can see from the little bit of video that I had, it was pretty crazy, and I imagine it was probably pretty crazy at most places. My first impression really after coming back was I was a little frustrated with it, not getting some of the things I wanted, and just I'm not really one for sitting in lines for a half hour at a time, and it took like a half hour to 40 minutes getting inside the record stores, and then it took 30 to 40 minutes to go through the checkout lines. But with a few hours past, I realized that I really did get some nice stuff, and it was all in all a pretty good experience. So what you hear in the background is one of the ones I had on my list, sort of on the top of the list. It's Arthur Russell, World of Echo. I had heard of Arthur Russell years ago. I read an article about him in CMJ magazine, and he just sort of always kind of stuck in the back of my head. And recently I had seen on Netflix that there was a documentary on him, and I rented it. And it was really well done, and you got a little bit more of a sense of who he was as a person. And so anyway, as you can kind of hear, he's a cellist. He was actually classically trained as a cellist. But his music is kind of all over the place. This one is very minimalist, almost a little bit like a Philip Glass kind of thing with vocals. And he actually did have some contact with Philip Glass. I think they collaborated in some way. But he was part of the Manhattan art scene in the 70s and early 80s, and his music's all over the place. I mean, this is, as you can hear, very, very basic and minimal. And it's kind of funny, this his vocals on here are really kind of mumbly, even though they are melodic. He does kind of mumble a little bit, so I think that somebody probably said unintelligible, maybe a review or something, and they put it on there, which I guess is them just sort of embracing this, I assume sort of an insult, I don't know. But I would say that this kind of music, first of all, it's definitely an acquired taste, but I don't necessarily, I think it's almost an ambient kind of music in that you can listen to it actively, but in a way it's kind of something you just sort of put on and go about your business, and you can listen to it a little bit, and sometimes you just kind of have it in the background, and it kind of sets a certain kind of tone or mood. I actually got one other thing by Arthur Russell, and I got it before I got World of Echo because the first store I went to didn't have it, so I thought, well, if I'm not going to get World of Echo, I'll just get something. So it's a 10-inch Ballad of Lights. This is him with Allen Ginsberg, and there's actually two sides. There's one side is with Arthur Russell. I think they both contribute on both, but the second side is, I guess, a little bit more about Allen Ginsberg. The artwork is really cool too. It's Archer Pruitt from Sea and Cake. So if you're a fan of Sea and Cake, you can kind of tell it sort of has that sort of feel. Next we have a 7-inch. This is the only 7-inch I bought, the New York Dolls. It was really cheap, so I'm not really a 7-inch person, but for $3, it's off of their latest release, Dancing Backward in High Heels. The A side is Full For You Baby, and the second is the B side is a live recording of Pills. Next is the Grateful Dead's debut. It's the mono pressing that hasn't been on vinyl, I guess, since it came out, so about 40 years. So I picked up the Black Angels releases. I'm sure if you've seen any other videos, you probably have seen these. This is I guess the outtakes and B-sides. I don't know if they're outtakes. I guess they're more B-sides from their last release, Phosphine Dream. This is actually called Phosgene Nightmare, and it's pretty cool. White vinyl. And I actually did listen to most of this already, and the songs are good. They're not throwaways. In fact, my first impression was they were actually a little bit more melodic in some ways, because the Black Angels a little bit more sort of not so much melody as sort of droning psychedelia. The next Black Angels is the first 2 EPs by the band that they collected on one 12-inch. Next one I was really happy about. It's Pink Floyd live in London, and I listened to only the first few minutes so far of Interstellar Overdrive, and I tell you what, it really jumps off the vinyl. It just sounds so great, and the packaging on this is really good. If you don't have it, it's going to be probably difficult to see through on eBay, on YouTube, but the packaging is just this really nice shiny cardboard. And I don't know, I guess white vinyl was the thing this year. It's a nice gatefold, just beautiful packaging. I'm gonna run through these quickly. Next one, another one. It was a live recording, and it just sounded amazing. I listened to the whole thing last night, and it's Television's live at the Waldorf in San Francisco, and really, you just get a sense of how amazing they were as a band listening to this. They're mostly known for, Tom Verlaine's guitar playing, but I'll tell you what, the bass in this really, I guess I'm partial because I'm a bass player, but the bass on this recording is just growls. It's a really nice, all around, just a nice live record, and it's also numbered. Got 2420. I don't know if that's going to come out of 3000. That's going to shine. So you can see some of the tracks here. They do a version of Can't Get No Satisfaction, and then some of their own songs that people know: Friction, Marquee Moon, and Foxhole, which is one of my favorites, and Venus. Well, that's pretty much it. I got a few other things that I'll hold off to another review. I have actually got this for a buddy of mine. I'm not necessarily a Deftones fan myself, but a buddy of mine was a fan, and so I told him I'd pick it up for him. It's a covers album, and some of the stuff that they cover on here, they do the Smiths and the Cure and Sade, and I don't know some of the other ones. So they definitely do some intriguing covers.